Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Megan with Her Courage to Plan. Today we've got to go ahead and complete our February budget, guys. I am using the February budget kit that is in my Etsy shop, and if you have not gotten your kit, you can go ahead and head over to my Etsy shop and take a look at it and go ahead and grab your copy. Now, I do have a link down below in the description box to my Etsy shop. It is Her Courage to Plan. So let's go ahead and get right into the budget. Now guys, I did go ahead and fill out the bill tracker for February, and I went ahead and did a little bit of the pre-plan, and I also completed the February actual calendar. And so all my kits, they do come with bill due stickers and payday stickers, and of course you do get your monthly calendars in your kits as well. Alright, so this is the February monthly budget. I am loving these colors, guys. So again, you want to get your hands on it, go ahead and check out my Etsy shop. Now, if this is your first time watching one of our videos, I will go ahead and link a playlist up above so that you can go back and watch some of our other budgeting videos. That way you'll get an idea of how my husband and I handle our finances. Now, I do our monthly budgets and paycheck to paycheck budgets out of our household account. So this is what we will be budgeting our money and paying our bills out of, a joint household account. My husband and I, we do have direct deposit a portion of our paychecks to this joint household account, and we just pay all our bills out of it. And we still have our personal accounts, but the majority of our money is direct deposited into this joint account. And again, if you're thinking about, you know, combining your incomes and trying to pay bills, maybe allocating a portion of your paychecks into a joint account and still have your personal account for just those personal expenditures. That way you can just have that joint account for the household bills, where you can just focus directly on all of your household expenditures. So again, it has worked really well for us. So for the month of February, hubs, we are expecting $29.02. That is the planned amount, and then for me it is $1,300. Now I do want to put on here the rollover from last month of the $55, because remember, for February we have pest control. So when we renewed our contract for our pest control, they come every other month versus every month. So I just have to make sure that I'm paying attention and really doing some pre-planning to make sure that we do have enough to cover those expenditures for that month. So I'm going to put on here rollover and the $55. Okay, and so we'll go ahead and total the planned income, which is at $29.02, $1,300, and the $55. So we'll be working with $42.57 as our planned amount for the month of February. All right, and then as far as our giving for tithe and offering, we're looking at $11.39. And again, as I said, my husband, he still gets overtime, so that's just an estimate. If he gets more, then of course that goes up, and then if it's less, then of course that's less. And we do tithe off of our gross income. All right, and so for the mortgage, it is at $502. All right guys, so you all know that we do use the Every Dollar Budget app, so that's what I refer to when completing our budget. But I'm going to go ahead and finish filling in our expenditures that we have planned for the month of February, and then I'll come back and do a recap with you guys. All right, I'll see you back in a bit. Alright guys, so I have finished totaling up these expenditures with the exception of the buffer, the savings, and the HELOC for extra debt. So we've got to kind of figure out if we've got enough to make sure that we can take care of these other categories. Let me go ahead and get a sticky note. All right, so we do know that what we have without the buffer is 2613.78. So I'm going to just put a note here. Without the buffer, we have 2613.78 as far as the expenses. And so let's go ahead and plug in the planned income, the giving. So we can go ahead and put this in the budget overview. This is what's at the bottom of your actual budget sheet. And I'm using the actual sheet that comes out of the February kit, which has the sinking saving funds. But you do get this one, and you also get one that has savings and the cash envelopes on it. Just depends on which one you use. So I just go ahead and give you both of them just in case you later on want to try cash envelopes if you don't currently use cash envelopes. We don't use cash envelopes at this time. We used to, so I just stick to the sheet that has the sinking saving funds section on it. But sometimes if I have extra sheets and I don't want to throw them away, I'll just use those as well. But let's see here. Go ahead and plug in the plan. So the income plan is $42.57, and then the giving at $11.39. All right, and so right now the expenses without the buffer is $2613.78. So let's see what we're working with. So $42.57 minus $11.39 minus $2613.78 without the buffer. So we have $504.22 left, which is good because I can go ahead and plug in the $100 buffer here. So we can go ahead and just say plus $100 buffer because that's generally what we do. And then that'll bring that total to $2713.78 for our total expenses. So let me plug this in at $100. And then it'll be $2713.78 as our total for expenses. And I'll go ahead and subtract $100 off of this since we already know that the buffer is taken care of. That leaves us with $404.22. Now for our household savings, now out of our joint checking account, we automatically have $50 a month that's transferred over to the household joint savings. So that it's enough in there to take care of that. So that's at $50. And let me go ahead and subtract 50 from it. So that leaves us with $354.22 that we have to work with between son's tuition, vacation, and the HELOC. And so son's tuition, we are cash flowing our son's college education, and we've been consistently putting in as extra savings alongside his college saving fund that we did have. We've been putting in $150. So let's go ahead and do that again for February. So that's $150. And then also we're saving up for our vacation / retreat again for this year. And so last year we did cash flow it, and we're planning to do the same. And we've been putting in consistently $100. So there's enough to do that as well. So let me go ahead and plug in here $100, and then I'll subtract it off. And so that leaves us with $104.22, which is a good amount as far as extra debt for the HELOC. So we'll put the rest, $104.22, toward our HELOC. All right, so let's go ahead and make sure that we crunch these numbers down here below. I'm gonna go ahead and total the savings at 50 plus 150 and 100, so it should be $300. So that's been consistent. And then down here, so I'll finish plugging this in. So the expenses are at $2713.78. And then the savings is at $300. So we should get a zero-based budget, guys, because we want to make sure that all of our income is allocated over our expenses. So That's how we get a zero-based budget. We're just making sure that we're trying to make a plan for how we're going to spend the income that we do get in the month of February. We do understand that things do change and you just have to regroup, but at least put it down on paper as a plan. So let's make sure that we just, write it down, write your budget down, write your plan down. It may not fully make sense, but get it down on paper. And then that way, as you go through the month, you're doing your budget checkups. Then if you need to kind of, regroup somewhere, recalculate, you can do that. But at least you have it written down from the beginning. All right, so the extra debt, we're looking at 104.22. All right, so let's go ahead and crunch these numbers down here. We should get a zero-based budget. And so this middle section is our mid-month check-in, our checks. Everything in our total section for mid-month, we'll plug it in here. And then, of course, at the end of the month, when we get ready to do our recap, this is where we'll figure out what we've done for the total month overall. But right now, we're just doing the plan section. So we should get a zero-based budget. So at $42.57 minus $11.39 for giving, minus the expenses $27.13.78, minus $300 for savings, and minus $104.22 for extra debt. And that's a zero-based budget, guys, which is awesome. So let's go ahead and do a overview of what we've done so far. So I explained the rollover from last month to help with the pest control. And so our expenses are pretty constant, but I do want to tell you guys, for our internet, next month it should be a little cheaper because Hubs called them last month and they had some type of special going where it's 12 month special. So every year you can call to see what kind of special they've got going on. And so we were paying like upwards of $150 for a bundle that was a previous special, but it actually went off a couple of months ago. So last month Hubs called to see what other special that they may have, and it is actually going to save us around $70 off of our internet bill, which encompass internet, cable, and we've got a landline phone. It as a package deal, so it's cheaper to go ahead and just get all of that in one. But this here $86.92, so next month it will actually be lower than this, and then that'll be the payment consistent until the introductory period goes off next year. And then we'll call back again and see if they've got some other special going, and if not, we'll just do what we need to do to make sure that we keep this at an affordable rate. And so I just think that's awesome sauce. If you have internet cable, just contact them and see if they have any specials going on, even if it's for a 12-month period. Just, it doesn't hurt to ask. All right, and so everything else is pretty consistent here. Now with the grocery, guys, I did explain we did come off a consecration in January with our church, the Daniel fast. And like I said, I was cooking pretty much every day, making sure that Hubs had breakfast. I was packing lunch, and I said that I'm going to try to continue that, even if I'm not able to pack his lunch or cooking breakfast every morning. I will make an effort to, at least do that, or at least kind of communicate with him, do he need a lunch, for that day, because a lot of times we don't see each other because of his schedule. But I have went ahead and added another $50 to our grocery budget because I see that I will be definitely packing lunch and cooking breakfast at least more than what I have done in the past. So I boosted that up to $50. Now I may boost it up again and round it out at $800 in the coming months. I'm just not really sure. I'm just trying to do $50 and see how that works. And again, guys, we don't do a whole lot of eating out. If we do it out of our personal account. But yeah, our grocery budget is for 3 of us, and I continuously take my lunch, but again, I'm adding Hubs into that as well going forward. And then I did add a few dollars to the house supplies. Usually it's like $75, but I did add $5 more to that. And everything else seems to be consistent, guys. Let me know how your February budget is looking. Leave me a comment down below. Stay tuned for our paycheck number 1 for February. And also what I want to do is a update on the savings challenge for January. So stay tuned for that video. And also I've got to give you all a debt payoff update. So alright guys, again, you already know the deal. Until the next time, I will see you later. Bye.